Hello. This is a quick analysis of leadership paradigms and how they can be applied to post-secondary education, in particular in community college. While it's evident through the sources listed below in the comments that transformational leadership plays a large role in post-secondary education and arguably in all pedagogy, I would argue the fact that all leadership paradigms play a role at certain stages during the facilitation of the education in post-secondary community college. How do the paradigms play a role in leadership and management? First of all, I'd like to maybe change the word management to facilitation. Might be a truer reflection of the teacher's role in facilitating the students' learning. Leadership paradigms can be broken down into several categories: coercive, authoritative, affiliative, democratic, and mentoring and coaching. Coercive and authoritative leadership paradigms lend themselves to the sage and the stage style of instruction. Although it's not contemporary and most people view it as not the best way of teaching, at the post-secondary level, sometimes authoritative instruction can become quite necessary and produce the best result. In situations where projects are intended to be authentic and real-world scenario, authoritative teaching can often be a very prudent method to try to recreate the situation where you have stakeholders, but there is a hierarchy and a leadership role is played, such as in client scenarios and situations where students must act on a professional level. In this situation, students are working online to produce particular shots for a feature science fiction film, of which there is a director and a producer who are extremely authoritative, and they play an authoritative role which the students need to learn to work with, adapt, and create what is desired by the vision of the client, producer, and director. A professional online technology tool called Shotgun is utilized, where directors and producers can make comments on the student's work and basically try to establish their wishes, desires, and vision for what the project should be, where the students learn how to adapt, change, modify to suit the needs of those authoritative figures. The democratic leadership paradigm can be seen in large group assignments where students are given control and each student plays a particular role or various roles, of which they all have say on the production of a project. Students here are working together to create a third-year project that involves an event in which all their work will be shown to professionals in the industry. It is fully student-driven. It's student product, and the students have complete control and say over management of the entire event. And the end result is a lot of growth and a really great experience for the students. The last leadership paradigm would be the transformational leadership paradigm, as well as possibly the instructional leadership paradigm, both developing a mentoring and coaching type relationship where students are guided or facilitated into sourcing of their own learning and their own growth, in essence being pointed in a certain direction for them to explore and grow as a professional. The faculty play more of an advisory role and a mentorship role, looking at students' work, guiding them, and suggesting avenues and approaches of which they might not have thought of, which then allows them to go out and source out new material and new knowledge on their own and apply to their work. This style of instructional leadership and transformational leadership can be applied to an online course and a hybrid course, obviously, of which students can be introduced to an online community, of which through their own experiences, comments, and knowledge can start to build off each other, sourcing out, again, further information and further knowledge, much like a MOOC. It can be argued that one leadership paradigm might be better to use over another. I would argue that all leadership paradigms actually play a part in post-secondary community college education, and that switching between the leadership paradigms, depending on the project or the outcomes of the class, will produce better results. At the community college level, One of the desired outcomes of a program is to try to create working professionals, to mold students coming out of high school, for the most part, to learn skills, authentic skills, applicable skills, in a very professional manner, which you don't find at other levels of education. So utilizing all the paradigms will help produce more professional results and give the students a sense of a real-world scenario. I think at all levels of education, transformative learning is obviously the most desired instructional paradigm. But in the world in which students are entering into a working world, possibly a blue-collar world, there is a necessity to at least introduce some authoritative, coercive, and democratic learning styles or paradigms. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this little presentation and a look into the technology side and the leadership side of instructional teaching at a post-secondary community college level.